Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the In Between the Stitches podcast. I am your host, Brady Wilson, with my co-host, Chase Olschwinger.
Good afternoon.
It is a good afternoon. It's getting a little hotter here in DFW, which I don't appreciate. If it could just sit in that 60 to 70 zone, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I do want to start off with some sad news because it's happened between the last podcast. Bill Mercer, who is not just a UNT legend, obviously, but who is a Texas legend, passed away at the ripe age of 99. So he lived a great life.
Amazing life.
He started the broadcast program here at UNT. He started KNTU, where we are currently doing our podcast from. He taught a class here for several decades. His impact on DFW broadcasting and mostly sports, right? Obviously, people do remember him for covering the Kennedy assassination, but everything else he's pretty much known for. He's called multiple Cotton Bowls. He was a Cowboys play-by-play. He was the first ever Rangers play-by-play in '72 with Don Drysdale. He was the play-by-play for World Class Championship Wrestling and the Von Erichs. So, he was just a legend here, and I could not mention his passing. We are all very sad about it, but he did live an amazing life. His impact will continue to be felt on Texas broadcasting thanks to his impact here at UNT.
May you rest in peace.
Yes. With that being said, we're going to move to hockey. The Stars picked up another 2 points last night against their. I like the Razor called them their cousins. I kind of like that because Minnesota is where he came from. So, Ottinger still continues to dominate against Minnesota. Shutout on bobblehead night, apparently.
Yeah.
I may have to get my hands on that bobblehead.
You have to too.
Yeah.
You collect them.
Not hockey ones.
Not hockey ones.
So we'll have to see. Let's see what happened. Duchesne had the second goal. I'm trying to remember. Harley had a wrister at the top of
Johnston was the first goal.
Harley had a wrister that Johnston, looking very Pavelski-esque, just tipped it in. And then Ben had a nice screen to get Duchesne a great look. And then Marchment had an empty netter. So it was a very successful game for the Stars. It was a successful homestand. There were some times where we looked a little sluggish, where maybe we looked a little bit more on the rough side, but we were still able to take several points in this 4-game homestand. You took 4-3 overtime against Anaheim, lost 3-2 shootout Tampa Bay, won overtime Philadelphia, and then you beat Minnesota. So, looking at this, you took a point every game, even the loss to Tampa Bay was a shootout, and that's you get extra point for being overtime. So, you took a point every game. You've now got a pretty tough 4-game stretch coming up where the next 2 games are back-to-back, Wednesday, Thursday, Edmonton and Calgary. Those are some tough games. Then you got Seattle on Saturday and then Seattle on Monday, both in Seattle. So whenever you see them playing them again, no, you're not seeing a rerun. You're going to be seeing the actual thing.
Yeah.
And then we go to April. There's only a few more games left. There is not a lot of hockey left to be played. The Stars pretty much, I don't say they're going through the motions, but everyone knows they're in the playoffs pretty much. It's just a matter of they're only 6 points behind Winnipeg.
Yeah, I know.
So if they're able to catch them, and then they come back home, they've got Nashville and the Penguins at home. Then they go to Minnesota, and then their last 3-game homestand is Vancouver, and then a very important game against Winnipeg, and then Utah, and then they finish the season in Detroit and in Nashville. So Stars have a tough stretch. I mean, you've got Edmonton, you've got Calgary, you've got Winnipeg. So Minnesota, they're a tough team. So you've got tough teams in front of you, but you're currently at 94 points behind Winnipeg, which is at 100. You're 45, 21-4. Colorado is probably going to end up being the third team in that division. They're 4 points above Minnesota, who holds the top wild card spot. So the Stars would definitely prefer to play against. I'd prefer to play against Minnesota than Colorado, but it looks like Colorado with McKinnon, McCarr, they're probably got they're probably going to be a team. What?
Rantanen reunion.
That'd be that's the one everyone's hoping for there. Everyone is wanting it to be a Rantanen reunion.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think he'd be great, but they're a tough team. I really don't want to face. I mean, not that Minnesota isn't tough. Who would rather face? I'd rather face Minnesota. I mean, anyone in the playoffs is going to be a good team, but Minnesota, clearly we were able to beat them better than we were able to beat Colorado. So,
totally agree.
In the very least, if we had to play Colorado, hang on to the 2 seed in the division, because I don't want to have to play a Game 7 in Colorado.
Yeah, neither do I.
I want it at home, where we have been one of the best teams in hockey this season. So I think we're on like an 11-0-1 stretch at home, something, with the only loss being the Tampa Bay shootout, which we probably should have won. So you are a shootout away from being 12-0 at home, I believe, in your last 12 games. So the Stars are very good at home. We just got to figure out those road woes, and we'll be right on track. But
yep,
I think that's it for hockey. As we move to basketball, March Madness is it's been fun. It hasn't been like, oh my God, it's so crazy, but it's been fun.
Yeah.
UNT, both teams are still in the NIT, I believe. None of them have been knocked out. So that'd be kind of crazy if both UNT men's and women's team win both NITs. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I always think like the NIT obviously doesn't have the same, caliber of teams or suspense as March Madness, or just, overall just importance. But, it really is a good thing. Like when UNT won it a few years ago, or a couple years ago, it really proves that, they're one of the better teams in the country. And when you win the NIT, like, sure, you're not one of the top 64 teams, or 68 teams, I guess, with the last 4 in, whatever. You're not one of the best 68 teams according to March Madness, but really, I mean, if you win the NIT, you prove you're probably a top 30 team in the country. And it proves to the NCAA that they deserve to be in. Like when you win the NIT, you still are going through a lot of tough games. Like UNT tonight, for example, the men's team, they are playing in Oklahoma State. I mean, that is a Big 12 opponent. That is a team that plays a lot of good competition, and that's a team that has a lot of NIL players on that team. Not one of the best teams in the Big 12 conference, but they are still a Big 12 conference school with a lot more money, with a lot more opportunity. So going in there, especially to their place, and trying to get another win like they did 2 years ago versus Oklahoma State, shows a lot. And, I'm really excited to watch that game tonight and see what they can do as they try to go to the Final Four of the NIT. But, go ahead.
Sorry, which again would be excellent. It would be so much. I know people are going to be, well, it's just the NIT. Yeah, I get it. And it's not going to, that's not, I would argue that going to the NIT is obviously not as prestigious as going to the tournament. No one's going to argue that. Winning the NIT is cool. It does bring notoriety. It is, if you're gonna go to the NIT, I feel like the only way you actually are prestigious is if you win it. If you don't win the NIT, then it's just kind of like it doesn't matter at all. So
correct.
I mean, yeah, it's only the winners are the ones people remember.
Yes. Like if you're in March Madness, for example, and you're a team, that's a 14, 15, 13, whatever seed, right? That beats a team like, a top 3 seed. Well, even if you lose in that 32, you're always going to be remembered because you were the team that pulled off that upset, and it's such a big moment in the dance.
Yeah.
But like in the NIT, like, if you lose, in the second round, it's whatever, nobody cares. Even if it is UNT beating a, Big 12 team, it's like, oh, well, they beat a Big 12 team and then they lose the next round. Well, who cares? But, we'll see what happens. I'm excited to watch them, like I said, and we'll we can bring it up next episode. But moving to the NBA now.
I did see that AD is back, right?
Yes, he is back. AD is back.
Hold on. Over, under, he lasts, I'm going to put that at 13 and a half minutes.
No, AD is back, and I did watch the Mavs last night, and they won pretty handily.
Can we also take bets on what gets hurt with AD? I'm going to take bets. I'm going to say, and I know this is kind of morbid, betting on a guy's injury, but this is a parody. I have to say this so that people understand. I am joking. I think it's going to be, I'm going to say groin. I think it's groin. He's going to pull groin coming up off like a rebound or something, and he's going to be out for, I'm going to say 2 weeks.
Well, we hope that doesn't happen.
Obviously, I hope it doesn't happen. It's just a matter of screw the Mavs. Screw Nico Harrison.
Listen,
and Dumont.
I understand obviously all the frustration, but It's whatever. It's hard, like we say every episode, for the last 2 months. But looking at it now, obviously AD's had some very unfortunate injuries in the past, but he's back, and through all the tough times, when you sit back and just watch the Mavs now that he's back, it's a lot easier to watch. Obviously, Kyrie's not back, or he won't be back. But when you have a superstar player like Anthony Davis on your team, it does make it fun to watch because of how good and how special he is on both sides of the ball. And it does make the game more enjoyable. Obviously, I would never, if I could, retract the trade, I would in a heartbeat. But, having a guy like AD is, there's only 5 other teams that have a better player on their roster than the Mavs. Right. AD is one of a kind. And it's, it is nice to have him. It is very nice to have a guy like AD on your team.
It is.
And we can't overlook that because of how good he is. I know the season was very unlucky with injuries and obviously everything else. But I'm excited to see what they can do next year, what they do in the offseason. I'm scared now as Nico Harrison, who knows what he'll do? Who knows? Nobody's safe. Nobody. We just have to see what happens going into next season. Hopefully everybody gets healthy, and I'm excited to watch this team going forward. But Mavs had a good win. They play again tonight. I doubt AD plays on a second leg of a back-to-back, coming back from a month and a half off. But the Mavs are in the 11th seed, tied with the Suns right now. But the Suns do have the tiebreakers, so the Suns are in the play and the Mavs are out of it. But I do see with AD being back and Gafford and Lively being right around the corner, I much as I don't want them to, because I just want the season to end already, I do see the Mavs getting into the plan and seeing if they can make some noise, because they, even without Kyrie, they still have a great team. But there's no potential, I think. But looking at the Lakers now, just obviously to cover Luka, he's still playing well, shooting a little inefficiently the last couple of games. But as the Lakers are on I think 3 or 4 game losing streak, so they've fallen a little bit in the standings. But Luka's playing well, and we're ever so closely, or slowly, coming up on April 9th when he will be here for the first time since the trade. Which, God, that's going to be an emotional game for sure, for him, for everybody in the for Dallas, for the city of Dallas, for the Mavericks players, for Luka. I mean, it's going to be a weird game. But that's coming up here in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and I don't know what to expect for that, but. No, looking forward. I mean, I just want the season to be over. I just want to support Luka and Luka only. And if the Mavs aren't in the playoffs, it's a lot easier to root for Luka when the Mavs aren't competing.
Yeah. It's just, again, we say it every week. It's frustrating because we're coming off of a finals appearance.
Yeah.
We're not coming off of a scrub year and you trade your star player because you're a seller at the deadline. That's not what this was. We were coming off a finals appearance. This it was so exciting going into this season for the Stars and the Mavs. And both could not be at different points in their, I guess, the viewpoint of the fans and the media and everybody else. Stars vying for a Stanley Cup. The only reason they're not number one in their division is because they had the freaking best team in the league in their division.
Yeah.
Freaking Winnipeg. At the deadline, make a nice little deal for Granlund and CC, and then you reel in the biggest fish on the market in Mikko Rantanen. And then you have the Mavs, who and Jim Nill is basically all in. Because he doesn't trade first-round picks. You can openly see how much it hurts him to trade those picks. But I think he understands this is a roster that can win a Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he was with the Red Wings, so I'd imagine he knows what one looks like. Whereas Nico Harrison screwed up the pitch to Steph Curry. Nico Harrison does not know what success looks like.
No.
And has decided we're just going to trade the guys that we're going to turn this into NBA 2K, and I'm going to only have the players that I like. Which is fair. In 2K, not in a real life NBA organization, and it is so frustrating to see as a Mavs fan that what Nico's done to the team, the fan base, the city.
Yeah, I mean, If you look out on social media, like the businesses that are around the American Airlines Center, they're losing money because people aren't going to the games because people don't want to support the team. And all these businesses that are right next to the arena that thrive off of everybody being there, hours before the game and getting a quick bite to eat, a drink, whatever it may be, these businesses are suffering, and it's shown.
Yeah.
People have talked about it, that they're losing money fast. And, not only did he lose, the whole city, but he lost the whole, most of Europe. I mean, I was doing a report yesterday for my sports management finance class. And I was just talking about the Mavs, and on the research that I saw, it wasn't updated research from what I looked up about. It was like, it was talking about how Nico was building around Luka and having all the international fan base, supporting the Mavs and stuff like that. Well, guess what? I mean, they're not attached to the Mavs. They are attached to Luka, and that's it. And they were a Mavs fan because of Luka. They can just follow. I mean, they don't care. They just follow Luka now. And now they're all Laker fans. So not only did you lose their city, but you lost the entire, you lost all of Europe now.
Yeah.
And it's just every day. It's just such a stupid decision to where.
Tell us how you really feel.
I mean, it's a terrible business decision.
Yeah.
I mean, they're losing money. And it still doesn't make any sense. It never will. Even if AD wins 3 championships here and Luka never wins one in LA, it will still never make sense.
No, that's what I think is so interesting about this. It doesn't make sense.
Nothing.
There's nothing about this trade, in my opinion. I don't know if this is a hot take. Even if in 5 years, when he's 31, right, around 31, Luka has had a Joel Embiid-like decline where he's just injured every day, I still don't think Mavs fans will be happy about it.
No, not at all.
Because it'll be like, well, that wouldn't have happened here. There'll always be the feeling that
we would rather look at Luka on the bench in street clothes than have him play for another team. I mean, we would rather watch him sit the entire season in a shirt and slacks on the bench and be on our team and not play than play for another team.
Yeah.
Because that's how the Mavs are built. They're built off loyalty. And with the new ownership and the new management and everything, it's all gone. And not only, I mean, this isn't just a, right now thing. This is something that is going to last forever because they've completely shifted how they run things, and they are willing to get rid of whoever, no matter what everybody else thinks. They will do what they want to do in a very egotistical manner going forward.
I've never quite seen anything like it.
Yeah,
I've never. I've just never seen it.
It really is unbelievable, and I know we talk about that every episode now. It's hard to not go on tangents about how stupid of a decision it was and how it always will be, and whatever. But look, going forward, Mavs just stay healthy for the rest of the season at least. Like if you're gonna make the plan, at least be healthy. Like obviously Kyrie's out, but like everybody else, like just be healthy, and so this team can try and compete.
Yeah.
Because listen, even without Kyrie, they're a good team. I mean, if they are healthy, they're a good team. I will say this, ending off. Obviously, you don't have the facilitating and the scoring of Kyrie when he's on the floor. But I will say this,
and the handles and everything.
Everything offensive you don't have. But I will say this: if you are fully healthy, there still isn't a team that can score on you. I mean, you can run a lineup of Najee Marshall at your point guard,
who is like a superstar almost.
Yeah. No, I mean Najee's a great facilitator, and he's.
No, I'm just saying, like every time I see the Mavs thing pop on my phone, game over. He's always the guy on our teams, like leading 22 points.
Yeah,
last night.
Najee's been great, and I mean, imagine a lineup of Najee at the point guard, Clay at the shooting guard, PJ at the small forward, AD at the power forward, Lively or Gafford interchanging at the center. Nobody. I mean, just because Kyrie's not in there for the scoring, look, he's not the best defender. We all know that, but Najee takes over. I mean, you still have to score to beat this team. And although they might not have the scoring without Kyrie, you're not going to be able to score on them.
Yeah.
So, but obviously in 7-game series, you adjust and you find out ways, and the team, unfortunately, without Kyrie, just doesn't have enough, facilitating, scoring, and they can't play 16, they can't win 16 games in the postseason just off of team. They're still going up against superstars on every team, and superstars will always find a way to score. But I would be interested to see what they could do in the playoffs if they have everybody on the roster healthy, but except Kyrie. I would be interested to see what they can do. And there's a part of me that wants to see what they could do, but also there's a part of me that's like, I just can't take it watching anymore. I just want to support Luka and Luka only now, like just for the season until I can, still, know what's going on, really feel that Luka's not here anymore.
Yeah.
So
it's we will continue to say it just how frustrating that all of this is as a Mavs fan. It will never not be frustrating. We will all. It's just
yeah.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Zen, breathe in, breathe out, because it's just. And again, like I got my first Stars jersey. I got a Rantanen jersey. Just came in. I've never been more excited for the Stars, and partially that has to do with the fact that the Mavs just made me so angry towards them that I don't want to watch. And I think that's a feeling that I'm getting on DFW, is that this is turning into more of a hockey town, which is great. And then I think when baseball gets going, if the Rangers get to a hot start, the Rangers will catch fire and it'll be okay. The Mavs and the Cowboys are the two people we don't really want to talk to. They're kind of, we're going to shun them. Here's the Rangers. Look, the Rangers and the Stars with great management, great ownership, great front office, great coaching, great team, superstars, young guys, everything you would want in both of those teams they have. Likeable players. Actually, the Rangers have more of a winning pedigree because of the championship. The Stars have been more of a consistent winner.
Yeah. So
both are winners. It's great. It is a great time to be, and we'll go ahead and switch to there's anything else in basketball.
Yeah. Well, also going off of that, like I have nothing. Obviously, no Mavs fan has anything against the players on the team. We still support all the players no matter what.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with them. Like for AD, for example, and Chrissy, like them coming over in the trade. We have nothing against them. We want them to be great. We want them to bring us a championship, of course. But, it's hard when you take, and AD's really been vocal. Excuse me. He's been really vocal about it. And he's saying, like, look, I know how much Luka meant to the city. I know that. And I'm just trying to bring, to let them know, like, you lost a superstar, but I'm trying to let the city know that you also gained a superstar. And
which is all well and good.
Yeah, and look, it's the right thing.
AD, I'm sorry, would rather have Luka.
No, of course, and of course, and he knows that, but he wants to come in here and win, and he wants to embrace Dallas, and he wants the city to embrace him, and that's what we got to show. We got to show support to him. It has nothing to do with the players. They had no control over any of this.
Sorry, PJ.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the guy that is writing your checks and the guy that brought you in.
Correct.
It has nothing to do with you. We love you, but we can't stand the other guys.
Correct.
And I assume everybody saw what Mark Cuban said about how he was definitely. I mean, we knew he wasn't a fan of the trade. It is not groundbreaking news that Mark Cuban did not like the Luka Doncic trade. I don't think we're breaking any new ground there, but he did have another interview where he was talking about it.
Yeah. Definitely recommend watching that because he straight up texted Nico right after the trade, or what he said was Nico texted him saying that, look, we're trading Luka for Anthony Davis, and Cuban thought that he was asking Mark what he thought about Cuban thought that Nico was asking Mark what he thought about trading Luka for AD. And then when Cuban realized that it was legit and that's what he wasn't asking him, he was telling him, he was like, listen, Nico, I don't agree with this. I think this is an awful trade. He in quote, he said that. He texted Nico saying, this is not a good trade. I don't agree.
Would you?
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, only time will tell. Only time will tell. Listen, if it really does backfire, Nico will never have a job again. Simple as that. He put his job on the line.
That he did.
Look, as an owner, obviously they agree with it too, because that's what the standard was for the last 4 years that Nico was here. Look, and for 3.5 years, I trusted Nico with all my heart. Whatever he did, I trusted. He was one of the best. And then that's obviously what continued, where Dumont said, listen, it's been working. What you've done has worked. I'm going to put my faith in you and trust you. They trusted Nico.
Yeah.
And if
they?
And if this doesn't work out, well, guess what? He will not have a job. So
still, it's just it's a very bad look. Very bad look.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and move to let's do baseball last, because that's the focal point of the episode.
Right.
Football, because football is going to take 10 seconds.
Yeah, nothing much for football.
Nothing has happened. There's really no off-season news.
Has there been any free agent signings? Or
Jerry has not been let out of the nursing home, so he hasn't said anything. There is nothing. We will probably do a mock draft next week, and then the next one will be the week of the draft. So there's just nothing to talk about with football. So now we move to baseball, and it's the reason why the episode's coming out today on Tuesday is because Thursday, normal scheduled time, is opening day. That is why we are doing it today. Let's just say that, I'm very excited, not just because it's baseball, but because the Rangers are going to be really good this year. Spoiler alert, I have them coming out of the West. Shocker. No, it is. I could not be more excited for this year, and I think it's a little bit different because I'm not going to opening day. I'm going to my dad's. I'm super excited for that. We're going to be doing it just like old times, and it's. I think this year, last year I was excited. Baseball, yeah, but Rangers. 2023, 2024 was Rangers. This year's the first year where it's Rangers, but also baseball, because next season might be the last season we have for a little while, because the CBA runs out after next year, and the owners have already said they're going to lock the players out if it gets to that. The players are pissed about things. The owners are pissed about things. Both of them are. I don't know how you can have a negotiation where both parties are pissed off at the outcome. That's even what baseball does, is that both sides feel like they gave up considerable ground in labor negotiations. So, yay! We get to deal with that drama into here. But we got this year, we got next year. But this year, I'm super excited. Let's go ahead and get into the predictions. Chase, I'm gonna let you kick it off for the AL, and we're gonna go East, Central, West American League, and then East, Central, West National League. So kick it off, Chase.
Alrighty. I also want to say, I'm just excited for the Rangers because of how excited I was going into last year,
yeah.
And just the disappointment of the team, and I think they did a great job in the offseason. But hopefully this isn't a repeat of me being excited for the Mavs going into the offseason because of all the moves they had. And then, Chris Young trades Seager for nothing. Or not nothing.
Shut up.
I don't even know who it would be. I don't even know. Or no, it'd be Langford. It'd be like Langford for Acuna.
No, Acuna. Trout.
Langford for Trout, maybe.
For Trout feels that actually feels like it would be of. Anyway, we're not going to even.
We're not talking about that.
Don't even Chase. Why are you saying it? I know
because I had the same excitement going into the Mavs. But okay. Anyways, kicking off with the AL East, I have the Yankees winning the division with a 96-66 record. I know they lost Soto in the offseason, but I think they did a really, really good job of building around. And I know they lost Garrett Cole to Tommy John, but I think Max Fried, obviously, it was a big signing. He's their ace. He can manage that ace, bringing in Bellinger as well. I think they did a really good job.
Yeah. Oh wait, crap! You're going. You're. Are we gonna do one? We each give who we have at one, or do you want to do the full division? Then I go. Let's do this.
Full division.
Full division.
Okay.
Division,
And I'm not going to give a whole story on each team and why they think they're there, but just if I feel like it's worth talking about this team for a second, I will.
Yeah.
Like I do with the second place team in the Boston Red Sox, 87-75. I think they're going to be a very surprising team this season, as they did a lot of good in the offseason, bringing in Alex Bregman, bringing in Garrett Crochet. I think they got a lot better in a pretty weak division, in my opinion. So that is why I got the Red Sox the second.
Yeah.
And I have some more Red Sox accolades get into later. I got the Orioles at 85 and 77 in third place. The Blue Jays in fourth at 79 and 83. And the Rays in last at 70 and 92.
Okay. So that's okay.
Hopefully we're not too far off from each other.
I got the Yankees winning the division at 92 and 70. 92 and 70. That didn't. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I don't know why it was that math is not mathing today. I've got the Red Sox as my first wild card team at 88 and 74. I've got the Orioles at 85 and 77.
That's what
I've got the Rays at 79 and 83, and the Blue Jays at 76 and 86. So
we're not far off from each other.
No, I looking at this division, the Yankees I think are clearly the best. They're the team to beat. The Red Sox have a really good team though, and if their injuries don't bite them in the butt, I think they're going to have a really good year. Adding Crochet was a big deal. They've got three prospects. It's Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell, and I'm forgetting the other guy's name, but I think Campbell made the roster.
Yeah,
he did. So Marcelo Mayer.
Alex Cora was just talking. I saw this on Instagram. Alex Cora was talking about Georgetown. I think that's where he went. Georgetown or Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech.
One of the two. He was asking what Georgia Tech players have played for Boston or for whatever the question was, and that was just him kind of expressing his way to Campbell, saying this. You made the team. I think it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I really like their roster. The Orioles, I think injuries are biting them. That's because
they also just didn't do anything.
It's because you teach your pitchers bad mechanics. Anyway, they have no pitching. Henderson's hurt. Everyone's hurt. And they're just going to have a down year. And you're going to watch this core get wasted, which just sucks. But, yeah. Rays, Kevin Cash will voodoo magic 79 wins out of this team. They're not a very good team, especially if McClanahan's hurt, which, again, mechanics. And the Blue Jays, I think with the Vlad thing, I think the core that should have given them potentially a championship is about to fizzle out bad. I think it's going to be a bad year for the Blue Jays.
So the only difference we had in standings was Blue Jays, which I had at 79 and 83. And then Rays at last. But the reason, I like the Blue Jays because they went out and got Santander, which was something they needed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think they have a good. I think they have a good offense to where they can, just win strictly off of their runs. So we'll see what happens.
That we will. You'll kick it off. AL Central, Chase.
God, this is just a weird division because
they're all weird.
I really just don't know. In my opinion, I think the AL is just kind of weak this year. I think this is a very nationally run league.
The American League just doesn't have the depth that the National League does. If you go three teams deep in every division,
National League has
some really good teams. If you go three teams deep in the American League, that third team is going to be a pretty weak.
I can name 6 teams in the National League that I wouldn't be shocked if they won the World Series. But okay, in the Central, leading off, I got the Tigers winning the division, 87 and 75. Got the Guardians in second at 82 and 80. The Royals in third at 81 and 81.
Okay.
The Twins in fourth.
Ooh, the Royals in third?
Yes, I do.
Ooh,
81,
disagree.
a game behind Guardians.
Wow, we disagree.
Oh,
boy.
I think they'll have a kind of they're a good team. They're promising. I just don't think they have enough to really be a true competitor yet. The Twins in fourth at 75 and 87. And the White Sox in fifth at 45 and 117. A lot of losses there, but
yeah. I have got the Royals in first at 92 and 70.
Whew, wow, you were really hyping them up,
dude. Well, when you see who my MVP pick is,
hey, listen, I might have the same one.
And when Lugo, Reagans, they have a good roster.
Yeah,
they added India. They sacrificed a little bit of pitching for some hitting. Their bullpen might get a little shaky, but every team has a shaky bullpen, it feels like, except for the Guardians. Tigers at 86 and 76 are my second wild card team. Actually, technically they're my third wild card.
Twins have a good bullpen too.
Guardians 84 and 78. Just not that good of a roster. Twins 80 and 82. Again, not that great of a roster. And then the White Sox. What was your record prediction for them?
45 and 117.
That's what I have.
Okay.
45 and 117. So they will not break their own record, but this is actually a worse team than last year's team. I don't know how you do that.
And they had 6 pitchers in the span of a month go out with Tommy John surgery, including Drew Thorpe, who a lot of White Sox fans are very upset about because there's one of those guys that actually has a lot of potential for their team. So I really don't know what's going to happen. I think Luis Robert Jr. it might get dealt at the deadline, because just the White Sox can try to bring in some sort of value. I know they're preying on him having a great first half of the year. 20 home runs by All-Star break. I'm hoping they can send him off for a lot of value. But yeah, it's rough times, Chicago, for one team right now.
The other team is a little bit happier.
Yeah,
it's still not great, but it's
pretty weak division, but yeah.
Very weak division.
Yeah.
No, it's I don't know how you get worse after setting the record. I didn't know that was possible. But they are actually a worse team than they were last year. Which I don't know how you do that. But AL West, Chase, I'm gonna let you kick this thing off.
All right, I got the Rangers winning the division at 93-69.
I'm shocked. How? Why would you have the Rangers? The Rangers suck.
Yeah, right.
Hey,
this is not biased, by the way.
Wait. What was your record prediction?
93-69.
Okay.
I have the Astros in second at 86-76. The Mariners in third at 81-81. The A's in fourth at 77-85. I really like this A's team, and I would not be shocked if they sneak into that final wild card spot. Honestly,
I like the A's team, but I'll get to my.
Yeah, and then the Angels in last at 60-102.
Yeah, I got the Rangers 94-68. Look, you added some quality bats. Tavares looks improved. Carter starting the year at AAA.
Yep.
Hopefully he figures out whatever was wrong with him. It could just be spring training woes. Rocker and Leiter make the roster, so hopefully the Vandy boys give us some really good innings. Hopefully. If I didn't say 94-68, if I didn't say, I think
so. We're right. We're a game off.
Yeah, I really think we're a good team, and the only reason I didn't pick them for the World Series is because I don't like picking my own team for the World Series because I feel like I can't be objective. So but I really think that it's very possible I have the best record in the American League, so it's very possible that we do go to the World Series and win the World Series. But I don't pick us only because I don't feel I can be truly objective. Mariners at 87-75, Astros 83-79, A's 81-81.
Yeah.
A's are still a heck of an improvement.
The great roster, really promising.
I really like Springs and Severino. I like both of those guys on the team. I think Butler, I think Bleday, I think Rooker, I think Langoliers. It's a good lineup.
They got a lot of potential
that I think is going to be not as good as some people are projecting, but I think is going to be about a 500 team, maybe slightly above, that can springboard into next year. And then you have the Angels at 71-91. I think Ron Washington is a top 10 manager in baseball, and I just think he's unfortunately being wasted away on the second worst team in the American League, which I hate for him. I would love if he went to a real baseball team, but unfortunately they're not a real baseball team. So,
as they released their former number one overall pick, Mickey Moniak, today. Very interesting.
All right, NL East.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, the Mariners are my second wildcard team at 87-75. So, and I feel like at least like 50 of those wins are their pitching.
Do you have the Astros not making it?
No, 83-79.
See, I just can't. I can't bet against them.
I can. They're not very good. They don't have much pitching. I think the Altuve experiment is going to backfire in their face. They are not a good baseball team. They are just the Astros, and they have some good players. But I think they are due for a big regression.
We'll see what happens.
Yep. Yes, we will.
NL East.
Sorry, no,
I was waiting for you to give me an introduction.
I'm sorry. Chase with the National League East.
No, with the NL East, I have the Phillies winning the division with 93-69 record. I have the Braves in second at 90-72. The Mets right behind in third at 89-73. The Nationals in fourth at 70-92. And the Marlins in fifth at 56-106. Very top-heavy division with those three. Any of those top three teams, I think, can win the division.
Yeah.
With
very
obviously the Phillies with they're great team, great talent everywhere, pitching, hitting, everything, bullpen. The Braves obviously getting Strider back, excuse me. I was saying a lot of words at once.
You're good.
Going to get Acuna back shortly when the season resumes. And then the Mets obviously adding Soto and trying to build off of what they had last year with a very nice run to the NLCS.
Yeah.
any one of those teams I think can win the division.
Yeah. You are not. Oh, I forgot about him. Sorry, I'm trying to get my my awards predictions in, and Rookie of the Year. I'm having to kind of look those guys up because I'm not as.
I had to do the same thing for
the
the National League. Yeah.
National League East. I got the Braves at 94 and 68. I've got the Mets at 91 and 71. The Phillies at 90 and 72. Both of those teams are wild card teams for me. Nationals, they're due for a bump in wins, 76 and 86, and then the Marlins at 57 and 105. They did nothing to get better. They got worse. The Nationals got better. I'm hoping that the core can mature. Everyone knows I love this Phillies team. They are old, but they're good. The Mets are a bit of a top-heavy team, obviously with guys like Soto, Lindor, Alonso, but they've added some nice pieces. I think it's going to kind of come together for them this year, but I think the Braves resume their time at the top, where I think last year they had some injuries. They won the division last year? Or was that the Phillies?
No, Phillies won.
That's right. So, yeah. But I think the Braves get back to their ways of being on top of the division.
You know, I'm really excited to see when it comes to the Braves this season.
Yeah,
Spencer Schwellenbach, a guy that showed unbelievable potential last season and had a dominant spring training, and I think that he can be easily their pitcher 2 going. Pitcher 3, because you have Strider coming back, and then obviously the reigning Cy Young in Chris Sale. Hopefully Sale stays healthy because, as shown last year, when he is healthy, he is unbelievable.
Who's Strider?
Sale?
Sorry, I think it's Strider. I don't know why. I heard
both. Both. But obviously I was just saying, like, they have Strider coming back, and we know how good he can be, and then the reigning Cy Young in Sale.
Yeah. They're a good team. So NL Central, Chase, what do you got?
Okay, another, both Centrals I think are very alike when it could be anyone who wins this division. All the teams are kind of just good to average. The Cubs I have winning the division at 88 and 74. I love the addition with Kyle Tucker. That's a superstar player when you bring in. So I'm excited to see what he does there. As I've always loved Kyle Tucker too. I just never liked him a lot because he was on the Astros. But
you are not wrong for that sentiment.
Yeah. Anyone who wasn't on that 2017 team I like.
Yeah.
As players.
Yeah.
The Brewers in second, 83 and 79. The Reds in third at 81 and 81. The Pirates in fourth was at 77 and 85, and the Cardinals in last at 70 and 92.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I like it. We've got Central for me, Cubs 90 and 72. Reds, Tito is going to help that team get to 84 wins in second place.
I'd love to see it. I want to see Ellie in the playoffs.
Brewers, but they're not in the playoffs. I think they're my fourth. No, actually, they're actually not even my just outside wild card team. That's Diamondbacks. Spoiler. Sorry. Oops. Brewers is 78-84. R.I.P. Bob Uecker. I'm hoping that they don't have that kind of season, but unfortunately, they did not get better as a team. Cardinals 77-85, and then Pirates 75-87, and at least 15 of those wins for the Pirates are because Paul Skeens carries them. It's a very weird division where I could see multiple teams coming out of it, but I just think ultimately the Cubs, with Counsell, with the talent they have on the roster, they're the best team in the division.
The Brewers always find a way to prove us wrong, though. Every year, Brewers are just winning the division. So
yeah. It's
every year the Brewers just find a way.
Yeah.
So I would not be shocked again.
And finally, the National League West.
In first,
if you have the Dodgers at like 120 wins, I'm gonna throw my pin at you.
I do not have them at 120 wins. In first, I have the Arizona. No, I'm joking. In first, I have the Los Angeles Dodgers at 110 and 52.
Jeez, Chase.
I mean,
my God.
Am I crazy for saying it though? Am I crazy?
Yeah.
Listen, it's the Dodgers. I mean, they're just unreal.
Yes, you're crazy for saying that.
They're unreal. They're unreal. And listen, I understand that 110 might be a little too much, especially when it gets towards the end of the season when they might not play everybody.
A little?
But
it's a little too much. 110 wins. I mean, they already have two.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's just so much talent.
We have the same thought.
There's just so much talent on this team. It's unbelievable. It's stupid from 1 to 9 when it comes to hitting, and then they're 1 through 5 in pitching, and even more in their bullpen, getting Yates and Tanner Scott. I mean, just an unreal team. It really doesn't look real. So look, you can call me crazy all you want, but at the end of the day,
you're crazy.
With all that talent, I have the Dodgers winning 110 games.
Yeah, you're crazy.
And second, I have the Arizona Diamondbacks at 90 and 72.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, listen, adding Corbin Burns, adding Josh Naylor, really going in on the offseason to, unfortunately they have to be in a division with the Dodgers, so they don't have a chance at winning the division. Yep. But, they'll be a wild card team for sure. Padres in third at 87 and 75, Giants in fourth at 76 and 86, and the Rockies in last at 60 and 102.
Yeah, I have the Dodgers at 101 and 61. I think that is a very realistic number for them.
Totally.
Because I think injuries happen. We've already seen. Apparently, Betts has caught something from Japan, and he's not keeping food down. He's lost a bunch of weight. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, listen, as long as he's healthy, I don't care how much he weighs. It's Mookie Betts. He's going to, he'll be fine.
Padres, 91 and 71 as my final wild card team, just edging out the Diamondbacks and the Reds. I think they actually have a very good team. I think their offense is, even without Profar, I think Merrill's ready to take the next step. I think their rotation, when healthy, is really solid. I think they have a solid bullpen. I think they have a solid team. The Diamondbacks, 86 and 76. I think most of I like their team. Trust me, I do. They have probably the best the Mariners had the best rotation. No one's going to argue that, top to bottom, 1 through 5. But I would argue the Diamondbacks have the best 1 through 3. They have 3 aces.
Yeah, Burns, Gallen, and Kelly, yeah.
So you've got 2 aces, and then Kelly is about as good as number 2 as you're going to get from a starting pitcher. So
he's not even number 2. Oh,
yeah, I know he's not.
Oh, as the aces, right?
As the 8 compared to aces.
Right. Sorry. Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yes.
The problem is I think their offense is it's a bit suspect. We'll see if Carroll can kind of bounce back a little bit. I think I just saw Jordan Montgomery's going to have Tommy John.
I did see that.
So,
but listen, I'm excited to see Brandon Pfaadt this year, a guy that's got a lot of potential.
Yeah. And they also have Erod. So yeah, we'll see what they can.
They got a good 1 through 5.
Yeah. Giants 83 and 79. It's a decent roster, but I think they're still building for the future.
Not falling for the Giants hype anymore.
And then the Rockies at 52 and 110. They are that bad. They have.
I got a little more wins.
They have very little to go off of. They have no ace, no pitching, no hitting. They've got nothing. It's a bad team. They're rebuilding. World Series predictions. I have got it. Yankees, Braves.
Okay.
With the Braves winning the 2025 World Series. Now, again, I will make a note. If I was trying, I wanted to put the Rangers here, but I just can't. So I'm doing my homer bracket where it's Rangers Braves because I think they can go to the World Series. I think they're the best team in the American League, but I want to be objective, and so I want to be objective, so I don't pick them. Who do you have?
Look,
let me guess. The Dodgers and
I'm not overthinking it. I got the Dodgers in the World Series. I got them winning the World Series. But also, it's not a homer. I got the Rangers. I think it really is a soft American League. There really isn't a team that scares me, and I really like what the Rangers did in the offseason. And I think this offense has potential to be like the 2023 roster.
As long as we can just pitch
if
something.
If they can just stay healthy, not to even mention, like, this offense has more potential than the 2023 team. And you have DeGrom healthy to start the year. Or actually, I guess it was healthy to start the year that year.
It's not crazy to say this. If DeGrom starts 25 games, he's the Cy Young. If he starts 25 games, he's the Cy Young. I don't care. He's the Cy Young. He is the best pitcher on the planet when healthy. No one's going to dispute that.
Totally. But listen, I mean, I got the Rangers. I just think I don't think the Yankees are going back to back. I don't want it to be Dodgers Yankees again. That's kind of why I led to the Rangers as well, because it is a pretty soft American league. Like I said earlier, it's a very National League when it comes to top heavy teams.
It's very senior circuit heavy.
Yeah, so I think the Rangers, as long as everybody's healthy, they have all the potential in the world to make it back to the World Series. But I do have the Dodgers winning it because I'm not overthinking it. This team is healthy. They're the best team in the baseball, in maybe the history of baseball. So,
All right. Well, and I'm going to say this. So I'm going to do award predictions, and my picks are a little bit more Shohei Ohtani. I try to think about it and go, okay, well, if it's not going to be Ohtani, who do I think? If it's not going to be Aaron Judge, who do I think? So if the American League MVP, kind of spoiled it earlier, I got Bobby Baseball. Bobby Witt Jr., I think, is going to carry this Royals team.
I have Bobby Witt Jr. as well. As much as I want to put Corey Seager, and as much as I think Corey can win it, I think if he's healthy, he can, for sure. As he was, if it wasn't for Ohtani 2 years ago, he would have. But no, I have Bobby Witt Jr. as well. I mean, I think he's due for it. He's got all the intangibles. He's a 5-tool player. I mean,
This feels like the season where he puts it all together for the MVP.
Exactly.
NL MVP, yes, I could go Ohtani. Yes, I could go Betts. Yes, I could go Freeman. Yes, I could go any one of the Dodger Blue. I'm going the man who could have won it last year. I'm going Lindor.
Nice. I like that.
So I think that in a team, my hot take for the National League is that in a team with Juan Soto, Lindor is the best player on the team.
It's a hot take. But look, when you have to debate between two players, it's a good sign. It's good. You as a fan, you want to debate, who's a better player. It's nice to have that luxury. But listen, I'm keeping it cliche. I'm keeping it ordinary. He's pitching now. There's no
for how long till he breaks again?
He's pitching now.
He's gonna break again.
And if he doesn't,
he's going to. His mechanics suck. Just like every other pitcher, they're all gonna break.
But listen, I have Shohei Ohtani winning my MVP. You don't have to overthink it. He's gonna have a sub 3.5 ERA, 50 home runs. There's no debate. So.
AL Cy Young, and we're just gonna do Cy Young's Rookie of the Year and Manager of the Year.
Sounds good.
Even though I did put Comeback Player of the Year, but we don't have to do that. Cy Young, American League, Cole Reagans.
Nice. So you're leaning Royals accolades this season.
I think that those two players bring them to those 92. I mean, where you didn't have them, I think those two players close that gap for them to get to the division.
Makes sense if you have them that high. Totally. I think you like this pick. Is my American League Cy Young? I have Garrett Crochet.
You didn't say Jack Leiter?
You sorry,
fan.
Come on, Rocker. I misspoke. Come on, Rocker.
You non-fan.
I have Garrett Crochet. I think it's...
If he's healthy.
Look, I mean, I'm very upset that we have to play him opening day.
Well, I also think that being on a real... There is something to be said for playing on a real baseball team.
Right.
And not being stuck in Chicago where your starts mean nothing except for you. And so now you're actually going to be vying for winning baseball. You're going to be on a winning team. I think he's going to pitch better.
Oh, yeah.
As long as he's healthy.
For sure. And he's obviously just, he's proven he's a very dominant pitcher.
I thought about Crochet, though. Yeah. He was on my list of guys I was considering.
Yeah.
NL Cy Young, Paul Skeens. This is the one award I'm not going to overthink. If he doesn't break, because his mechanics, I know I've said this, they suck. They're terrible. Get your elbow below your shoulder, Skeens. Quit throwing it up. His velocity already dipped last year. I mean, to be fair, it dipped like 94, but his velocity was already taking a dip last year. If he completes the season, which I don't know if that happens, he's going to be the Cy Young. I think he's the best pitcher in the National League when he's healthy, or if he's healthy. He hasn't shown it yet. It's coming. I'm just hoping it's not this year.
Right.
Then we get to watch him.
I got Paul Skeens as well. Love the dude.
Not overthinking it.
Love the dude. He's unbelievable.
Unfortunately, he's stuck in Pittsburgh. So.
But look, I mean, he gets to be in the best stadium in baseball. So
one of the best.
So at least he gets to pitch with a great background.
AL Rookie of the Year. Me and him kind of had to look these up. Kind of like, who are the candidates? In the National League one, I should have remembered, but the American League, Jackson Job's kind of the hot pick from the Tigers. Kumar Rocker's another hot pick, but I went batter. I went Jason Dominguez.
Okay. From
the Yankees. I think if he gets regular at bats, he is going to be a very, very good football player. Very, very good base. I'm in the draft mode where he's a very good football player.
Even though baseball's coming up, I'm just looking forward to the draft the most.
Of course. But Dominguez is I think this is going to be where no injuries, he's the dude.
Like you had Royals love. I have a lot of Red Sox love. I got Roman Anthony.
That's not a hot take.
No, I mean, I didn't have to look him up. I didn't have to look at my National League either, but I kind of just had to give myself a reminder, like, who's the National League rookie? Because I just couldn't really think about who's a National League rookie, and then I decided to make my pick. But no, Roman Anthony, especially he's gonna get a chance.
Yeah.
On a good Red Sox team.
Yeah.
Favorable right field. a lot of, as a left-handed hitter, but a lot of potential there.
National League, I should have thought about this guy. I'm going Dylan Cruz from the Nationals. You're nodding at me. That time tells me who you picked. Obviously, being the number 2 pick a couple years ago, just in front of Wyatt Langford and Max Clark. I think that, first of all, that draft looks like it could be one of the best top 4s ever.
Yeah.
With Skeens, Cruz, and Langford, and the poor Tigers are sitting there. This is like was it the 89 NFL draft? 90? No, it had to be 90 or 91. It had to be 90, I think. Where at the top 5, it was Troy Aikman, Deion Sanders, Derek Thomas, Barry Sanders, and then Tony Mandarich was the number 2 pick. And this kind of feels like that, but with 4 guys instead of 5. Where you've got, I don't know who's the 5th pick, but you've got Skeens, Cruz, Langford, and then poor Max Clark, who's showing promise, but in like high A. So you have Cruz too?
I do have Cruz. Yeah, I mean, look,
he's good. That LSU team, there's reason they were good.
You can also talk about, comparing to that, you can talk about the 2003 like NBA draft where it was LeBron, and then it was
Bosh.
Or
Wade.
no.
Wade?
No. It was
Melo.
Vlade Divac.
No. It was Darko.
Milicic. Sorry.
It was Milicic.
Milicic. Sorry, not Divac. It was LeBron.
I knew something that Chase didn't in basketball. I am the greatest at this.
Correct. Yeah. I knew it was an itch.
I knew trivia that Chase
Even though
didn't.
Divac was whatever.
I'm gonna hold it over your head forever now.
No, it was LeBron, Milicic, Melo, Bosh, and Wade.
Yeah, I believe so.
And then just Milicic, just and then the Timberwolves kind of going. They had 2 picks before Curry went at 9. They had 6. Or they had 7 and 8, or 6 or 7. Johnny Flynn, and then Ricky Rubio, and then Curry went right after that.
And then manager of the year, I'm just gonna give both of them. I've got Alex Cora, Red Sox. I think that's kind of. So I think he's really good manager. Take the whole Astros thing out. I think he's a good manager. And then I've got Francona. Even though I know that the Reds is lower, this is one of those. I'm kind of taking both sides to the argument here, where I think the Reds may not. My predictions for the record are like 84, but I also think they could win like 90 games and go to the playoffs. And Francona's manager of the year, so I'm kind of playing both sides here.
Yeah, more Red Sox love for me as well. I have Alex Cora in the American League, and then again, listen, with my prediction, if they win that many games,
Dave Roberts.
I'm going Dave Roberts.
You're not wrong. And then just for, I don't know if you did it, but you can just agree with mine. I did a comeback player of the year. I picked DeGrom and Strider.
Yeah,
if they both stay healthy. So
Cunha worked for me as well.
Super excited for opening day. I cannot. I'm sorry if it doesn't sound like it. I have been under the weather. If you can't tell by him coughing and me trying to it's all that dust that blew in the Denton really screwed me up. So I'm sorry if it kind of sounds like I'm underwater this whole time, but that's why. I'm super excited for opening day. It's gonna be a great day. And so that way, hey, next time we talk to y'all, baseball will be in full swing.
And we'll be back Thursday. It was just a one-time thing, right?
What?
Meeting on Tuesday. We'll be back Thursday.
Next Thursday will be. Yes.
Yeah.
This was a one-time. Same thing for the draft. We're gonna have to do an emergency episode probably that Tuesday.
Just for the mock.
Just for the mock and everything. So
Sounds good.
We will talk to you guys next week.